nothing to Trace. You are just another number in his scoreline.
Didn't have the greatest scoreline. This play in particular, so take a look at this. Ults himself, Lantern's going to come through from Che, flashes over, E over the wall, escapes after moving. Wow. And just a really well-timed series of abilities from Trace to get out of that sticky situation. And here we go. Once again, not going to follow up on that E. Forces the cocoon, actually. That was preempted by Crush. He just walks up and ults him after that. Easy as can be.
Yeah, not bad. And then, the most entertaining moment in this game. Should be in just a moment. Maybe we won't see it.
We saw part of it.
A little bit. Great Lux ult for the double kill for Edge, but in the end, Edge.
Great ultimate on the Edge right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't result in a kill, but does buy some time for his allies to continue taking out these turrets. You know what's funny about Trace too is he's known for the entertainment factor on his stream. He's a really popular streamer.
You wouldn't think that by looking at his pro play, would you? Yeah.
You would think that by looking at his pro play or by looking at his face when he's in the booth. But if you guys want a good laugh, you could look up on YouTube Trace Draws Faker, and there is a YouTube clip that has English subtitles on it, and it is absolutely hilarious as he's trying to draw this picture of Faker on his stream from a photograph of Faker. And he's talking to his teammates and his coaches while he's doing it. It's very, very funny.
I think I've seen that one, and it is hilarious. What's not so funny, unfortunately, though, is E-mFire's position in this series, down a game, and they need to do a lot to come back. And as we go into picks and bans for game number 2 between Jinair and E-mFire, you really got to wonder if there is anything actually that E-mFire can do.
Yeah.
After being so thoroughly outplayed game 1.
Yeah, no substitutions either.
Right.
In this game, so nobody trying to make a change quite yet. Trace is also actually one of the older players we have. He's 26.
Yeah.
So he is one of, if not the oldest player in Champions now, especially with Kane and Zephyr no longer on rosters.
Yep.
So back to the picks and bans. Tom Kench, Alistair, and Rise. Coming through on the blue side for Jinair. E-mFire so far again with the Graves, a wise decision. GP, and is the Lulu going to be banned, or are they going to go with Quinn? They've been forced to ban the Gangplank this time.
Banning Quinn would be interesting. But, I mean, I think you ban Lissandra here. Yep. I think Lissandra caused way too many problems for E-mFire in game 1.
So you see the pick rate right there at the bottom of your screen, but they may prioritize that Callista, and that's what they're going to do, taking it over the Alistair, which was first picked by E-mFire.
Yeah.
In game number 1, so they're going to hand that over alongside presumably Lucian as they move away from the Tristana pick here.
Would you maybe consider a Thresh instead? Oh, they can grab the Kindred for Crush, I suppose, too.
I think not taking... Oh, the Alistair's banned, excuse me. So they can't take that right away. So they could take the Thresh and try and deny that pick.
I think they will.
From Che, and then they will take a Kindred for Crush. So really switching gears in game number 2.
Yeah. He ended up with the Elise in game 1. Very different. Yep, they will lock in the Thresh, too.
So Lulu's still available, yet falling surprisingly far down the draft right now. And actually, Winged is just going to lock in Lee Sin immediately in response, seeing that Kindred. So this is going to be one of those very few games with neither a Rek'Sai nor an Elise.
Cool.
Despite neither of them being banned.
I think it's going to be aggressive. This game is going to be fast and furious, man.
Is it?
Yeah, I hope.
Fast and Furious, just like the new Star Trek movie.
That's right. It's too fast, too furious, some have even said.
2-star, 2-trek.
2-star, 2-trek.
I like how the word trek implies some sort of lengthy journey, yet we have
like maybe a 5-year mission.
Yeah.
But
measured pace.
Yeah.
Yet we have a Fast and Furious director. What a terrible decision.
Well, I mean, I just feel like that means Star Wars wins because we got one of our fans to infiltrate Star Trek make a Star Trek movie like Star Wars and then go on
It wasn't
to
like Star Wars. It was terrible. It was just straight up bad. Anyway, it was terrible.
So Star Wars wins, yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Great. Please take him away from Star Trek. I agree. Good riddance. Anyway, Lux and Lucian locked in here. They have the Lux Lucian combination, so they actually have follow-up to the Lux bindings at range now. This is the more common combination we've seen alongside Lux and MF.
It makes a lot more sense than solo Lux.
Lux and Tristana, which did almost nothing in that last game. Jin Air contemplating right now giving Kuzan the Twisted Fate, and they could just straight up take a blind Quinn for Jin Air. That would be bold for Trace.
Do it, man. All right.
Well,
what's happening?
They banned it in game 1, so apparently Trace is enough of a threat in solo queue on Quinn to justify both a ban in the first game of the series and a blind pick in the second.
Pretty exciting stuff. And is it going to be the Poppy for Hippo?
Hippo has to find something he can work with here. That Hecarim taking it into a losing matchup was really underwhelming in the last game.
You know, it's with some of these newer teams, you do see odd picks because this is what these guys have been playing in solo queue for so long. They're used to that. I mean, the Olaf would fit right in there too.
Oh no, please no more top Nautilus.
Oh, I've got a feeling it's going to be locked in there.
At the very least, that's going to provide a lot of crowd control for the 280 carries. But this is going back. How did E-mFire draft in their first 2 games? Top Nautilus, double 80 carry. We're seeing the exact same thing they did, and they didn't win either of those games either. So when they went up against Samsung, the top Nautilus with 280 carries wasn't enough. They have a strong poke line. They have a lot of damage, but they haven't been able to make it work in terms of team fights. And now they're in a situation where they have to deal with Trace's split pushing. And how many answers do they have to Quinn split push, Doa?
I would think 0.
Well, you'd be right. And you know what else is fun?
What?
Trace is not running TP right now. We will see if he changes that. If he runs Flash Ignite, that will be really weird. And the first time we have seen that in probably a year.
He's got behind enemy lines, man. He can just scoot around the map.
It's true. You know, that's a great point. You don't need necessarily TP, especially if you're running Twisted Fate, because you have 2 TPs on TF. So this is definitely a strategy that Jin Air has prepared. He's not going to switch. He is going to play Ignite.
Cool. All right.
Oh, I'm really excited now for this game. Jin Air, we saw their Graves top attempt to really push forward, make a different strategy that they had really practiced with the 380 carries. They refused to fight, took objectives, played very well against SK Telecom to take the victory. And now here's Trace running Ignite for the first time in Korea in a very, very long time. And you're right, he will be using that mobility from his ultimate in lieu of teleport. But this only works with TF. Great draft from Jin Air. I really like what we're seeing.
Well, we'll see if it's enough for the 2-0 against the E-mFire. It's time to get in the game. And we will see who can rule Summoner's Rift at least in this second game between the Jin Air Greenwings and E-mFire. It is an interesting draft from Jin Air, running that top laner without the teleport with the Ignite. We didn't really see a lot of that in the past. I would say maybe the most recent was like top Hecarims that were doing it back with a top Smite.
No, you'd run.
We saw it once in a while.
You'd run Smite teleport though. Yeah. That's the thing. So it's been I can't remember the last time I saw a Smiteless top laner in Champions. It's been a really, really long time. But let's talk about why people run teleport in the top lane. So why do we run teleport in the top lane? Well, first off, part of it is lane swaps, and this can really backfire on you. They're going to try and preemptively call the swap here. There's no deep wards in, so they don't know where Trace is. So in response, Jin Air is going to try and mind game them by putting their dual lane top in anticipation of E-mFire doing the same. Now, they're going to be right, but if they're not right, sometimes in these lane swap situations, it can result in a bad time for the top laner because you may miss several waves of CS as a result of not having TP, depending on how the lane swap goes. But it's interesting to note the way that standard lane swaps have been playing out with the fast pushing of the turret and the jungle follow, you haven't really needed TP to get into lane or to catch any of these waves. So this is a really interesting assumption that Janair is making right here.
Well, I think it'd be honestly really good for the game if we could move away from every top laner requiring teleport every single game.
It makes it much more complicated in the late game and strategically interesting to have teleport in the game.
But what if you had the option to do it or not do it?
Well, I don't think you can have it because it's a global ability. We'll see how Janair does, but it is being propped up by the nature of Twisted Fate having 2 TPs to cover any deficiencies from a top laner not having it, and also the fact that Quinn is super fast.
Right. We'll see how it works out. Winged on Lee Sin. We haven't seen Lee Sin in a while. Not as common these days, but Korea will never stop playing Lee Sin.
And Winged will never stop playing Lee Sin in particular. Right. It's still his go-to jungler.
Do you think there will ever be a time where Lee Sin will kind of fall off? I feel like there's like a generation of junglers
that go after Trace right now.
I guess so. They may get him too. Trace in a lot of trouble here.
He's
Damage on the
Ignite.
Crush. But here comes Wing. And now Crush the one on the run. This is going to be first blood for Wing.
Hey, Kuzan's here with a gold card
nice
too.
Gold card, and that's going to be 2 kills. Kuzan with another one. Getting that Thunderlord's kill.
Wow. Well, that was a big misplay. Crush waited a really long time for that. And Winged was already in the river trying to kill the Scuttle Crab so that Kindred couldn't get the free stack off of that objective. And instead, they just answered blow for blow by Janair 2-0 as they come in. And it's dangerous to fight a Quinn or a top laner with Ignite early on. There is no damage from Nautilus. So not really going to be super successful relying on the jungler to deal the damage, especially when the Ignite will outpace what Crush is throwing at him.
Pretty much. That Ignite already working out well. Winged going to recall in his enemy's jungle, like you do.
Well, fortunately, Trace didn't get any of the kills. That's about the nicest
thing.
Oh,
nice play. They're going to bring in Crush along with this. Have they gotten a kill onto Che? Looks like they have. So, good gank by E-mFire.
Yeah, instant flash, use of 3 summoners from the duo lane. Means that they are going to take an advantage. So, Crush not deterred, actually, by his failed gank at first.
Yeah, and that was very well coordinated. I mean, the Lantern brought him in. Cougar used his flash and Ignite to lock up Che. Easy kill.
Yeah, and they're going to get a lot of damage out of this turret. They rode a very large wave straight in there. They're going to deny a significant amount of CS. This was a nice play from E-mFire to balance out, but mispositioning there from Janair in the lane too. Even opening themselves up for that situation where Cougar was in range to get the Lantern from that angle and flash at the same time.
Yeah. Winged able to get the Rift Scuttler on his way back into the enemy jungle. Can you go ahead and ward? And he's been taking a lot from Crush, actually.
Well, and we also see Edge, because of the teleport into the bottom lane, did manage to inch ahead when it comes to CS. But that's balanced out by the kill that was acquired by Kuzan, as well as the very significant CS lead that Trace now has. And how is Hippo going to deal with this? Even without the threat of the Ignite there, he still is trying to melee some of these minions or farm him with his E as best as he can.
Well, the Nautilus pick is just kind of odd. You just don't see Nautilus doing a lot in comps from the top lane these days.
They picked it into Quinn, so it's definitely their decision.
They want it, you know? They think that it can handle it. I mean, you could argue that the shield and stuff will help you sustain in lane against that Quinn, but what happens in the late game?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Cards over the wall to take the blue buff for Kuzan. And right back in the lane.
Yep. They wanted a binding on him because they had Crush coming up from the river, but Kuzan playing it safe.
Yeah, he has no vision there, and he has 2 pink wards up into the top side. He knows from the wards that Crush is not going to be in that top side jungle right now, so why even make a play? Meanwhile, we do have the flash down onto Thresh if they can get a kill there.
Try to. Wing moving over the ward, gets a slowdown onto Cougar. Soul dropping a bit of damage, but Cougar in big trouble again. No flash for this guy right now. Gonna pull Winged into the turret though, and that's gonna be a kill for Soul. Cougar lives through it.
Why did Wings stop right there? He actually just straight up stopped moving and allowed the hook to hit him and pull him back under the turret. Curious play. I'm not really sure what was going on with Winged. Take a look at that one again, see if we can perhaps figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, Cougar like one auto away from being killed too. And maybe a little bit more of a commitment from Pilot Che is what Winged was expecting.
Yeah, possibly he could have been trying to just tank that on the edge of the turret radius for a finisher.
I think so. I mean, Pilot and Che just didn't go in all the way on that one.
Did not. So there we go. Blue buff taken now by Edge, and Jinair, in spite of a strong start and a strong counter gank, makes a couple of mistakes around their dual lane, and now we're just back to about even. But Trace, that's the really scary part right now, is this Quinn has been unchecked thus far, already has... Ooh.
Oh, there's some damage. Man, not quite enough, but it'll certainly put Kuzan out of lane for the moment.
The crowd likes that one. Or will it? Quinn is still hovering around here, moving around the river, got a deep ward in.
You can always
Trace
TP
now
back.
Moving into the top side. They're going to try and get behind, actually. Pilot going to move up here. Here we go.
Oh, they caught Crush and Edge with the Bard ultimate. Crush still caught. He's going to get taken down. Can they get Edge as well? Winged flies in to make an attempt, but can't quite connect with it.
Well, Edge actually had to flash out of that. And a Lux without flash in lane is so vulnerable that all the pressure that Edge was putting on the mid lane is going to evaporate if he doesn't want to die. So they find a way to make this work. They actually sacrifice a few CS on the bottom side in order to do that. So E-mFire definitely didn't realize that they would be making a play with this big, big wave about to hit the bottom turret. And this is also an unlikely play, making a Dragon attempt right here when you have no pressure.
Oh, they snuck it from the back. Nice gold card onto Hippo. He's going to try to survive through the assault from Trace and Kuzan, but it's not going to work. And Trace picks up his second kill of the game. Meanwhile, Jinair grabs that Dragon.
Really poor awareness, actually, from the E-mFire lineup. They have wards on either side of the Dragon pit, so they don't think that Jinair could be doing it, but in fact, you have a Lee Sin and a Bard, so easy to come through the back of that wall and actually steal that objective away. But they should not be allowed to, while the bottom lane is pushed up, make a Dragon play and gank in the top lane at the same time. E-mFire just sort of letting him have that for free and not contesting and putting pressure on where they should be.
And this is all just kind of more of what we saw in game one, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a slow death probably for E-mFire due to being out macroed and the other team simply making better decisions, also hamstringing the top laner. Trace really looking like a star.
Yep. And Quinn not flapping at all as she moves around the map.
We'll see her flapping a little bit, Doa.
I don't think so.
Well, you will see it.
Well, I mean when she stops.
And flaps her arms, yeah, because she flaps when she stops.
No, well, it's forward momentum. That's not a flap. We've already established this. Oh, and it's going to be a gank. Another nice play by Cougar. They're going to bring Pilot in this time. Bug splat! It's back again. Uh-oh. There may be an issue with the game.
No, they're just going to rejoin. It's only the Observer. Wow, 2 times in one night.
Yeah, I know. Lucky us, right?
Right, fix your game, please.
Why?
Fix your game, please.
That's right. Or at least make a more entertaining bug splat thing. Well, something is happening.
Can it be like Kha'Zix getting hit with a poppy hammer? That'd be great.
We're watching Hippo maybe getting dived under the turret. Let's give you the radio play-by-play. He's moving over to the left side, tries to clear the wave, runs over to the wall, but that's away from his own base. Wing in there as well. It's going to be an easy kill for the Twisted Fate. It was not hard at all.
It was.
We're watching from Wing's view right now, and it's a good view to have if you are interested in winning games.
Or watching Sickly Sin play.
Yep, Kuzan had that one. They're taking the Rift Herald now. Thank you for tuning into Radio Champions, where they'll have a chilled out evening with the Jinair Greenwings as they take down E-mFire. Doesn't look very hard right now. They gave up on the Rift Herald, but An easy blue buff, and they'll be right back into a lane.
It's
Thanks
okay.
for-
You don't have to go for the Rift Herald Doa when there are
That's
plenty
right.
of jungle camps to take. Your time is much better spent getting your blue buff and killing Gromp.
This program used to be supported by viewers like you.
Well played, sir.
Not anymore. Oh, we're back. Oh, good. All right. I missed my calling. I really did.
It's not too late to get on NPR Doa,
That's true. I'll work on it.
unless they get defunded.
Yes, well, maybe we can do something about that.
Like pledging our donations.
Yeah, that helps. I've heard. NPR sponsorship incoming. I don't think so. I don't think it works like that.
Nope,
E-mFire,
other way, Doa.
Yeah, I think so. E-mFire
I think you
should
mean-
be able to get the top turret.
Doa sponsorship incoming.
Yep, that's right. They have to say my name once an hour on the radio then. Look like how great I am. It's kind of, I got the idea from someone only a few hundred miles north of here, actually. Radio stations proclaiming how great I am 24/7.
I just use this channel for that for myself.
Oh, okay. It's true. All the other casters have to have that picture of you up on the wall. You know? It's really weird.
Well, top lane goes down. E-mFire picking up their second turret of the game. Jin Air definitely lagging behind when it comes to turrets, prioritizing these kills and the TF ganks. But also Kuzan's absence in lane has made it quite difficult for him to farm, so he's going to be suffering by about 40 in the same area as Hippo. Big difference, though, is that the kills are there. But those turrets have to start going down. There's a lot of gold stuffed in them, stuffed in the stone, I guess.
Stuff in the stone.
It's really a not very safe place to keep your gold. You think you wouldn't put
true.
your gold in the thing that everyone is trying to destroy?
I keep my gold in high security minions.
Surely this gold will be safe if we put them in these minions and have them
just got-
walk down the lane
So the old story
and walk
right,
into some swords.
the old lore was that there were summoners, there were like novice summoners that were making the minions and sending down the lane, and apparently at the same time we're stuffing them with gold. I don't know why they do that, but
Well, you definitely don't want to, because presumably if you're making a minion, you actually want it to be on the side that you're representing. So why would you put gold in there for your enemies?
yeah, I don't know.
There's no denial in this game, so you can't like take it away.
Let's just face it, man. Pinatas are fun, and if they're filled with gold, unless you're standing underneath it when it opens, it's a good deal.
That gold's really heavy. Don't stand underneath gold.
Stand underneath a gold pinata. It's really gems of knowledge like this that make the broadcast worth tuning into.
Yeah, the golden shower just off the table.
Oh, no. Oh, you went there, didn't you? Wow.
I was just being literal, though. Don't mess with gold pinatas.
I will not ever do that. Thank you for clarifying that one.
Yeah, it was purely pinata related.
Yeah, purely. That's the defense I always use. It was purely pinata related.
Your
Anytime.
Honor, it was purely
That's right.
pinata related.
I was pulled over for speeding when I drove a long time ago, and I was like, officer, it was purely pinata related. He's like, oh, aren't you the famous esports caster Doa? Please, go about your business. I was like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Dragon, going to be taken by E-mFire, I guess. Yep, there we go. I got it.
First the game, traded the turret in the top side for that.
Yep. Certainly did. Was it worth it? I don't know. Oh, Kuzan just going to TP back to mid. Been able to keep his turret alive for quite a while.
Well, it's a bit of a surprise considering that he has been away from his lane so frequently. Deciding to go for the Zhonya's Hourglass first, actually. So looking to hard engage with this Twisted Fate and provide the initiation for this Kalista and the Quinn, considering they don't actually have a tank line. But that means they have several forms of stasis right now with Bard to engage too. So
Oh, here we go.
be
BF
fun to watch,
Ultimate
actually.
activated. They're going to try to make a play here. He's in the box. He's going to get the gold card in onto Guger anyway. Crush comes in. Hook doesn't connect with anyone. Kuzan in a lot of trouble. That was a bit of a That was a bit of an off gank for Jinair.
Well, your top laner does not have TP, remember, so he can't follow up on plays like that if Hippo has his teleport available. And it's all too easy to use that CC and come in a little bit later, especially when you're trying to gank in between two turrets. I would say, if you're going to be Jinair, if you want to run this strategy, do not gank between two turrets with Twisted Fate if your top laner doesn't also have TP.
It's going to cost him a turret too.
Yeah, Crush can simply sit there and TP to the first turret and get in on any action that happens in that lane.
Shay got hooked. Actually, they saved the turret for the moment.
Yeah, they have no wave there though, so it's going to die.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight it if they want to save it. They will not do that. Looks like.
Yeah, TF is their only form of wave clear until Callista gets Hurricane.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Wing coming in, gets pushed out immediately. Are they going to make a play on this? They do get crushed. Shay gets grabbed. Can they follow up again? Winged going in, trying to help Trace get in position. They nearly kill Hippo.
Wow. Kuzan really got back in the nick of time to try and turn that one around. And E-mFire, they took too long to take that turret. They definitely could have taken it down and backed off faster. They were way too afraid.
And now it looks like Jinair is going to be able to take the mid turret in response. And they'll get it.
Yeah, that situation could have been avoided, I think, by E-mFire with just a slight bit more commitment.
Yep.
With no wave clear there, you can just have Hippo tank a little bit of that damage and allow Soul and Crush and Edge to finish it off. I mean, look right here. Turn around, it's just too late, it already started. Edge gonna fire his laser backwards. But now that Kuzan's here, able just to run up, get a gold card off onto Cougar, and push them all away by chunking them. They still have a full HP TF there to help push in the following wave. Pilot now going to push his way forward to that tier 1 and try and get a turret lead finally for Jinair, who lagged a bit behind in that department this game. Trace is here to clear out the wave with his ultimate.
Yeah. Why do a bunch of arrows fall out of the sky when you let Valor go?
Because Valor is Pinata full of arrows.
I guess so. It was purely Pinata related, officer. Just bringing it right back around. I like it.
Yep, just looping it right back.
There's a lot of pinatas in League of Legends, aren't there? Oh, what do you know? I fire my laser. Nice Zonias.
Yeah, really interesting way to stop that damage. E-mFire turns their sights up to
that
the Rift Herald. Really, almost anything in League of Legends can be explained through relationships to pinatas.
That's true. Well, a little bit of gold coming out of this turret pinata now. It's going to give a 3K gold lead now to Jinair. Crush trying to make it out. Looks like he will.
Pops over the wall there.
Yep. He's a confused Trace. Push begins again from E-mFire. They still could take down that mid turret anytime they get close to it. Looks like it's going to be now.
Chasing him off.
Yep.
Using the not twin shadows, the Frost Queen's claim.
Not anymore, man.
It's gone.
Twin Shadows is gone, and now Frost Queen's claim has Twin Shadows ability. Spooky ghost.
Ghost pinata.
It's a ghost pinata. You hit it, you hit that button, and you knock the ghost right out of it. It's true. It's all pinata related. Oh, and there's a Bard out. Can Edge get to the... Yeah, he can. Never mind.
Meanwhile, Trace is up to some split pushing shenanigans.
Yep. Time to go behind enemy lines. I mean, back to my lanes. Whoa. Culling didn't connect too much, but one of the Korean casters got very excited about it.
Yeah, Culling probably not going to do much to a Lee Sin.
I don't think so.
His W up, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah. We're looking for things. Like pinatas to be excited about. Lux has a light pinata.
I don't know if that works. Like a lamp in it.
Whoa, those ghosts were denied. What happens to those ghosts at the end? They look like they die, but they're already dead.
They go into the ground.
Oh.
That's where ghosts live.
They just go underground back to the Frost Queen's claim.
I guess. What's she claiming anyway?
She's claiming that you can't. She's claiming that she knows somebody's around. It's like, I bet there's somebody around. I'm going to send out these ghosts to find out. Like, yep, I thought so. Uh-huh.
You've been discovered. Good thing they have a massive range.
That's right.
It's a pretty easy claim to make there, Frost Queen.
Yep. Doesn't like to take a lot of chances, that Frost Queen. Whoever that is.
All right, so they picked the bottom lane for Trace to split push in here, which is the only one without a tier 2 in it, curiously enough. And now he's going to get his bird on.
Yep. I've heard the bird is the word, and I've heard that E-mFire is going to be able to take a pretty easy dragon here.
They're getting flanked.
Yeah, will they die in a team fight afterwards? That's the question. TF ult activated,
Bard
Trace
ult
coming
is not
from
up.
the side. But you are right. Without that Bard up, it's tough to lock anyone down on E-mFire.
Well, they can zone them off the mid lane, but the wave just isn't there. That was pretty indecisive by Jin Air not to push up the mid wave at the same time. They could have actually got some pretty decent damage down if they had wanted to. Instead, they don't quite look like they know what they want to do, and so they get nothing in the end in exchange for that dragon, which is number 2 for E-mFire. And is it Baron time?
Uh-oh, I think it is. There's no vision at all for E-mFire right now.
Man, there are 2 people in base. E-mFire really dropped the ball here.
They're running fast. I think they know what's up, man.
It's too late. There's Callista and Quinn. You have to be more careful about this. Hey, thanks for the help, Lux.
Yeah. What a pal. And a Baron.
All too easy, honestly. They didn't have any vision. Here's
wow. He TP'd for that, and it is
well,
too
you
late.
have to, right? You have to.
I guess it's not as bad when your opposing top laner doesn't have a teleport either, but seems like it'll make the split push for Trace a little bit easier.
Oh, it certainly will. It certainly will. It's pretty bad, actually. And they're going to try and 5-man this mid lane, but nothing they can do. Wave's just not there. In position, Kuzan already back. And here we go, Bard ult.
All right, Bard ult doesn't hit anyone, but it does zone them closer to the side. Now, looking like there's going to be a fight, though.
Well, unfortunately, no follow-up from the Bard ult, even though it pushed the E-mFire closer. Didn't have anything there to catch them out. So Trace would like some more CS now.
Arrow Pinata.
Make a pinata full of arrows.
I don't know. It's like the Trojan horse, you know, where you make your enemy think it's a gift, right? Like, hey, here's this great pinata. You're like, thanks, man. I'm gonna hit it right now and see what. Oh no, it's filled with arrows. And you're like, ha! You have fallen for the old pinata filled with arrows trick.
And that's the Mexican version of the Iliad.
There you go. The Trojan pinata. It's really, it was a pinata filled with soldiers when it comes down to it, I guess.
There were probably arrows in there too.
That's true. I mean, I have seen horse-shaped pinatas, so. Checks out. Trace pushing in the top lane, as we suspected he would, but it looks like Jinner may have to give up their tier 2 in mid.
Well, they have to do something. Actually, Wing's going to cut the wave.
Yeah, okay.
That's actually really smart by Winged to deny this, because now they're in a position where Winged can stop the recalls, and there is really nobody here to defend either of these inhibitor turrets.
They have to run all the way back, too. They can't recall.
There's a
coming
TP.
in. TF is going to help him take that turret down.
Oh. We're learning about why you don't 5-man rush mid while the enemy has a Baron.
I guess we are. Winged there just to make sure Kuzan and Trace can get away. He's there shouting encouragement. Now Pilot and Shade taking a chunk out of the bottom inhibitor turret.
Oh man, this is such a disaster.
Well, E-mFire seems pretty overwhelmed by the cross-map pressure right now from Jin Air.
It's hard for a new team to deal with this, but they're going to lose 2 inhibitor turrets. Oh! Oh!
Wow,
the final one.
You the real MVP, cannon minion.
Baron empowered cannon minion.
The true champion. You can't Q a turret. Oh, never mind. I know he was aiming for crush. Just kidding.
Here we go. Last tier 2. Now in the sights of Jin Air, who took, what, 4 turrets off of that push.
Yep. Pretty good Baron for Jin Air. And a pretty thorough dismantling of E-mFire.
They really look lost in how to deal with this situation. And now I understand a bit about the Quinn ban in the first game. First off, Trace has done really well and taken a big advantage with it, even though he took Ignite instead of Teleport. But also, it's just given E-mFire the runaround. They haven't really been able to play against the speed or the pressure that the Quinn has brought to bear. really showing here. Trace now with a rapid-fire cannon and a Yomu's Ghost Blade.
Wow, well, that'll help a
Lob
little
out
bit.
Mortius, so he will be smashing people if he ever duels somebody one-on-one.
Kuzan taking his own blue buff. Yeah, I don't think you want to mess with this Quinn right now.
No one can mess with the Quinn on the E-mFire. Fortunately, Hippo has his TP back, so at least he's not going to be totally unable to join his team in team fights on across the map like this Quinn has.
Yep.
But E-mFire, they just haven't really been able, besides answering that one dive that was foolishly made by Kuzan, they haven't been able to make the most out of the lack of teleport. And part of that was they didn't get the lane swap here. But part of that is also definitely they haven't been playing around with TP well enough to try and punish Trace. You have to set up the vision.
Oh, Wing, you're in trouble, buddy. Chase saves him with the Bard ult. It's only delaying the inevitable, though. Whoa, is it? What an escape from Winged. Wow, that worked.
And W flash.
Oh,
Used
Kuzan.
right away to escape.
Oh!
Oh!
Zonia's! But still taken out. It was a nice attempt.
Well, Janair getting caught out. That's going to make
kinda
this
silly.
game take a while. Trace is going to take the Scuttle Crab and then probably solo the Dragon.
Yeah.
Or take it with the help of Winged. Actually, the E-mFire moving down there for number 3 possibly. As Sol and Guger are there, they're going to stand in the Crab vision. But they only have, maybe they would look for an inhibitor backdoor while this is going on, but Quinn actually just showing herself in the mid.
Didn't work out. Yep.
I think Quinn probably could have gone topside and taken an inhibitor right there, but it's okay.
You're okay with it?
2 inhibs still exposed. It's not, it is a risk to make a play like that. They can collapse on you quickly, or Nautilus can tie you up for enough time for his allies to get back.
Right. Oh. Tried to get there quickly, but it didn't happen.
Here we go, Yomu's popped, and that'll cause Crush to really back off.
Yep.
Baron up in another minute, and I'll be curious to see how Janair plays this one. If they're going to try and change the split push, so Kuzan is in the bottom lane and Quinn is up with the Baron, so they actually have some sort of pressure on the Baron. Otherwise, E-mFire with the TP available will be holding all of the cards.
Specifically, Kuzan will be the one
He's got all the cards.
holding the cards, yeah.
But he only has 3 kinds of cards. Got a big deck with only 3 colors.
Doesn't change the fact that he's still got all of them.
What do you do with that deck of cards anyway?
Play a really boring version of War, I guess.
Implying there's an exciting version of War, Noah.
Well, I suppose it's true. I can't argue with that. Oh. Hippo on the run.
Not a sentence you hear said very often.
This is esports. This is where you hear things like Hippo on the run. Trace. You wonder about sentences like that, and then you think, like, I wonder what the last human being on Earth was who said that.
I wonder that about you all the time,
Who
Noah.
was that? You know? Was I the first human to ever say that sentence? It's interesting. Oh, and the E-mFire going for a really desperate Baron.
But they have the TP advantage, so actually this is smart.
I guess they're going to lose an inhibitor for it. Oh, Bardal does not hit anybody. And they're backing away from that Baron. They're actually losing focus here. Can they steal it? He does! Wing gets the Baron steal. Gets taken out. But now Trace has the Baron buff.
We're done here.
Oh, man.
That was the right play to make. And Hippo is going to fall in the end.
Magical journey. Oh, he got hooked into the box, pulled out by the Fate's Call.
Meanwhile, Quinn is killing their base.
Yeah, and if they can stop the recalls long enough, he's going to be able to do a ton of damage. Actually, both Nexus turrets are gone now.
Quinn's going to win this game.
Yeah, Jin Air is just delaying. There goes the Nexus, and Trace just takes it out. Thanks for the Baron buff. GG, it's a 2-0. And Jin Air feeling good about that one.
What a weird end to that game.
Very bizarre. It was a bizarre match all around, man.
That was the right call. As crazy as that sounds, when you have the TP advantage, unfortunately they had already lost both of their inhibitor turrets, which made it a little bit easier for Jin Air to pull the win out of that. But you have to make some sort of play on the Baron, otherwise the
Everywhere you go, in the city or the country, rock beds are beneath you for thousands of feet. Deep in the beds, heat and pressure turn decaying plants and animals into oil and gas. The oil and gas migrate through porous rocks until they're trapped by impermeable rock barriers. Geologists look for the traps. Exploration companies drill wells into them, searching for oil and gas. Before drilling can begin, division engineers must approve the drilling plans. The plans include the protection of surface and underground environments. During drilling, heavy drilling mud is circulated into the well to control underground pressures. Blowout prevention equipment installed on every wellhead acts as a backup pressure control system. With it, a well can be shut in at any time. Division engineers specify the blowout prevention equipment used on each well. They witness tests to ensure the equipment is in operating order. Good well control training and widespread use of blowout prevention equipment have made California blowouts rare. About 68,000 oil and gas wells were drilled in the state from 1954 through 1980. Only 31 blowouts occurred during this time, with little environmental damage. Drilling oil wells in an urban area is a safe but sometimes noisy task. Therefore, drilling rigs are especially designed to muffle sound. At more permanent locations, drill sites are built to blend in with other structures in the area. About 26 wells will be drilled from this San Fernando Valley site. 77 wells have been drilled from inside this yellow building in Los Angeles. Derricks on this landscape drilling island in Long Beach Harbor have been mistaken for apartment buildings. Most oil and gas wells are drilled through water zones. Fluids from oil, gas, and water zones must not mix. To prevent this during drilling, heavy mud is pumped into the well bore. These zones are sealed when sections of pipe, called casing, are cemented in the hole. Cement is pumped down the well, through the casing, out beneath it, and back to the surface. To check the cement seal, operators may be required to conduct a water shutoff test witnessed by a division engineer. The casing is perforated through productive oil and gas zones. Depending on reservoir type and pressure, different kinds of production equipment are installed. The amount of oil and gas produced from every well is reported to the division each month. Sometimes, sumps are dug on oil and gas leases. The sumps, open depressions holding oil and water, can be dangerous to wildlife. 12 years ago, the division began to locate and classify California oil field sumps. Today, all of the hazardous sumps have been screened or eliminated. Good housekeeping is encouraged at all oil and gas leases. This makes leases more attractive, safer, and environmentally acceptable. Each year, recipients are chosen for a lease award. Dry holes and wells no longer commercially productive are abandoned. To abandon a well, cement is placed across all oil zones, freshwater, saltwater contact zones, and at the surface. The rest of the well is filled with heavy drilling mud. Before 1915, many California wells were abandoned incorrectly. Today, when these wells are found, they are properly abandoned. Money from a special fund may be used for the work. The Division of Oil and Gas protects California's oil, gas, and geothermal resources. It encourages the wise development of these natural resources through good conservation and engineering practices.